Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a teacher from Bangladesh and I will talk about some grammar rules today, especially the comma rules. So let's get started with the comma rules that I will be teaching today. So comma is like an important rules in grammar. If you are trying to write something, well, you need to know how comma rules work. Today I will discuss four rules. Here I have four rules of comma rules, so I will try to discuss as best as I can. If anyone wants to contact me, you can contact me. The contact information will be in the description below. So let's get started with the rule. The rule number one says that you have to use comma to separate items in a series of two or more things. For example, if you want to say that I want to eat bread, cheese, and egg. So there are three things: bread, cheese, and egg. So you want to separate items. That's why you need to use comma before cheese, that is after bread. Then it will make a grammatically correct sentence. The second example here, it is said that John wants to buy a pen, pencil, and book. So there are three things. One is pen, one is pencil, and one is book. So if there are three objects or three things in a series, then you have to put a comma. So we put a comma before pencil, and you do not need to put comma after pencil, but you can use it's another rule that you can use comma before and. But in British rule, you have to use comma for this one only. But if you have two items, then you do not need to put comma. For example, if you want to say I want to eat banana and egg, you do not need to put comma before or after banana or before and, because when you are saying about two things, you do not need to put comma. So this is the first rule I wanted to tell you. So it's basically very simple. You have to put comma to separate items. If you have three, four, or five or more things, you have to separate it. But if you have two items, you do not need to put comma. You can use only and. For practice, there is an example. I will pause for a minute so that you can think about what will be the why you should put the comma. So the sentence says he went swimming, rode a bike, and played tennis at a sports camp. So think for a minute, and then I will tell the answer of it. Okay, so the correct answer will be, so look at, there are few things done. He went swimming. This is one thing he did, so we need to put a comma, and then it said rode a bike and played tennis. So there are three things. He has done swimming, he has done biking, and then he played tennis. So there are three things, so we need to put a comma for grammatically correct sentence. So there should be a comma in this case. Now for rule number two, the rule says that you have to use a comma to separate independent clause when they are joined by conjunctions. So what is an independent clause? An independent clause is a complete thought. For example, if we say that I want to go to market, this is a complete sentence. So we have to put comma between two independent clauses, that is between two complete thoughts. For this, we will talk about fanboys in a while, but let's see like two independent clause. For example, there is a sentence called I want to quit my job. This is a complete thought. This is a complete sentence. It has a full meaning. So it is an independent clause. Again, I need the money is a complete thought. So when we are using two independent clause, meaning that they have to complete thought, we have to use comma before the coordinating conjunction. So the conjunctions are, you can remember by fanboys, that is for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. You have to note that you have to use comma before the conjunction. So let's recap number 2 again. So it says that we have to use comma to separate two independent clauses, that is to complete thoughts. Here is the example. I want to quit my job. This is an independent clause, and this is I need the money is also an independent clause. So we need to put comma before the coordinating conjunction. So if you see this line, it's an incorrect one because there is no comma before the coordinating conjunction, despite being these two line and two independent clauses. Now look, there are more examples. Let's see what they are saying. I'm really tired today. This is a complete sentence. So I am not going to the party tonight. This is a complete sentence. I am not going to the party. So if you want to use two independent clause, that is to complete sentence, then you need to put a comma and the coordinating conjunction. The comma will be before the coordinating conjunction. Similarly, the weather was hot, yet we had a great time. We use comma before yet, before the conjunction. So this is basically number 2 rule. And then the practice part, I will read the question, I will read the sentence, and I will give a few seconds to think. He had an argument with John and he got fired from his job. I am good at writing good stories, yet I prefer reading science fiction. Please think for some minutes. So the rule number says that if you have two independent clause, in this case we have two independent, this is the first independent clause. He had an argument with John, which is a complete thought, which is a complete sentence, which makes a complete meaning. And then we have again, he got fired from his job, which is also a complete sentence. So if we want to use together, then we need to put a comma before the coordinating conjunction. This is the case. So this is what you have to remember in case of independent clauses. So again, I am good at writing good stories is a complete sentence. So we need to put a comma, and then we have I prefer reading science fiction. So this is also a complete sentence. So we need to use comma before the coordinating conjunction. In this case, yet is the coordinating conjunction. So here are the list of all coordinating conjunction mostly used. So you can remember as like fanboys, which stands for F for fan, for A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. This way you can remember and use in your writing. Let's go to the third rule. The third rule says that use a comma to separate a dependent clause. A dependent clause means which is an incomplete thought from an independent clause, which is a complete thought. So it is very clear that it is saying that you have to use comma to separate a dependent clause from an independent clause. A dependent clause which does not have a complete thought, whereas an independent clause which has a complete thought. For example, if there is a sentence like if you finish your work by Friday, which is an incomplete sentence, because if you say that something you are doing before Friday, then what next is not explained. So this is an incomplete thought. So you have to say that I will give, or you have to say something, or I will give a Sunday off, which is a complete, which is a complete sentence. So using an incomplete thought and a complete thought, you have to separate these two sentences by giving a comma right there, right between the complete thought and incomplete thought. So if you finish your work by Friday, so here it is an incomplete thought because that does not make any sense. What happens next if you finish your work by Friday? And then we have I will give you a Sunday off, which is a complete thought. So these are the two sentences. When used together, you have to separate the independent and the dependent clause by a comma. Here I have two questions for practice. Because he is 15, he cannot buy alcohol. So I will pause for a few seconds. So think about the answer. I will come back soon. So I have written here, because he is 15 is a dependent clause. It does not make any sense if you say because he is 15. There have to be something after this. So here it is, he cannot buy alcohol, which is a complete thought. So there is the incomplete thought and there is the complete thought. So we have to use comma between these two. Then it will be grammatically correct. So this is our rule number 3. Now let's see another rule, which is rule number 4. It says use comma to separate a non-essential phrase from the sentence. So we sometimes use some non-essential words which are not necessary for the complete sentence to be understood. For example, here in this case, it says my great uncle who is 18 is very well healthy. So if we skip this line, for example, if we say my great uncle is very healthy, it will definitely make sense like this. If I write here, my great uncle is very healthy. So this sentence without these three words will make a complete sentence. So these are called non-essential part of the sentence or non-essential phrases. So when we are using any non-essential phrase, in this case who is 18 is the non-essential phrase, we have to use comma before that and after that. This is the rule here. It's very simple. The rule says that you have to separate a non-essential phrase from the sentence by using comma. In this case, who is 18 is non-essential, so we used comma between these two words. That's it. Now take a look, another example. Here it says soda, my favorite drink, is not good for health. So if we say soda is not good for health, then we to make sentence and we do not need to use comma. Let me write it for you. Soda is not good for health. So this is a complete sentence. So this is a complete sentence and you do not need to use comma because there are no non-essential phrases. But in case of this, my favorite drink is an extra part of the sentence. So we need to use comma between these non-essential phrases. So I have two practice question. Let me read for you. Fresh food items, especially fruits and vegetables, are good for health. Dr. Bill, my family doctor, does not work on Friday. Let me give you a few seconds to think about the answer. So the correct way of writing this sentence will be, you have to use comma between the non-essential phrase of fresh food items, especially fruits and vegetables. So this is the non-essential phrases. So we have to put comma before these phrases, vegetables. So like think again that if we say fresh food items are good for health, it makes sense. So in this case, we do not need to use comma. If we write like this, fresh food items are good for health. As we are writing non-essential phrases, we have to use comma in between this. This is the rule. Now the next one says, Dr. Bill, my family doctor does not work on Friday. Here, my family doctor is non-essential part of the sentence, because if you say without this word, it will also make sense. So you have to use comma before that. This is the correct way of writing. Or you can write Dr. Bill does not work on Friday. So just a quick reminder that you have to use F as capital letter when you are telling about weekdays. So I will come with another video about the rule of capital letter or rule of capitalization. So I hope I have covered everything. These were the 4 rules I wanted to discuss to you, and so I hope I am able to make you understand. If you keep practicing, you will do better. I will also make more videos about comma rules, because it's a long discussion. It's a important and a long topic. I hope you will continue with me, and you will subscribe to my channel and do comments and share with other friends so that they also can benefit from it. So thanks for being with me. Hope to talk to you very soon.